Hey guys, welcome in. So I wasn't really planning on making a video today, but one of my favorite channels, Little Joel, posted a video today about some discourse that's happening on X.com. Fuck, sorry. I can't even say it seriously. Twitter, which is a video of a couple dancing. And the man in the video is larger, considered nerdy looking, and the girl is like an e-girl type. And so the discourse on the internet is that how are these people dating? How did this guy pull this girl? And Little Joel's videos seem to mostly be responding to a tweet that said, let me just pull the tweet up actually. Maybe this video will help incels finally realize what we've been trying to tell them all along. It's not your looks, it's your horrible personality and raging misogyny / hatred towards women. And while his points were threefold, I think the part that not irritated me or like struck a chord with me was that he seemed to expand the comment, which is pretty obviously specifically talking just to people who identify as incels. He expanded on that and sort of included everybody who has trouble dating, right? I.e. people who are considered not conventionally attractive, people who are overweight, etc. And I don't think that this tweet is an argument against those people's concerns or troubles when it comes to dating. I don't think this tweet is implying in any way that physical attraction is not part of the dating experience. I think the fucking Blue Angels are in town. Holy crap. No, I think overweight, ugly people will be the first to tell you that physical attractiveness is definitely not something that people just ignore, right? It's not like it's a feminist idea to be like, oh, I don't see physical attributes, I only see personality. Like, that's not a feminist approach, and that's also not the argument. I think the argument, which you largely pointed at, Little Joel, if you're watching this, the problem with the incel mentality is that they only see a certain subsect of women as sexually viable. The problem is that being an incel is an inherently misogynistic approach in which that you don't see women as human beings, right? And I'm not saying that Little Joel isn't making this point. I think he is making this point. But the point that he's trying to make seems to not apply to the person who's making the tweet. They are talking specifically about incels, and incels do need to realize that it is not their physical attractiveness that is causing them to have problems in the dating scene. Like, sure, you might have some problems in the dating scene if you are not physically attractive, but that does not, being not physically attractive or being overweight does not limit you from dating. It limits you from dating a certain subsect of the group of the population that do not find you attractive. That's the reality of dating. The fact is that we are not attractive to all people. Even a 10 out of 10, right? Like a Giga Chad or whatever the fuck they call them. That person is not attractive to all human beings. There is a subsect of the population that is unavailable to that person. And it's a part of the incel's inherently misogynistic worldview that women should be required or should have the natural inclination to see past physical attributes and only be attracted to people based on their personality, right? That in that worldview, it saves the incel from the work or sort of the reality of having to deal with physical attributes. But that worldview does not extend to themselves. The truth is, incels believe that they are owed attention or sexual interest from a certain subsect of the female population that is over a range of physical attractiveness, right? They want physical attractiveness to apply to women, but not to apply to men. And that inherently misogynistic worldview is what is keeping them out of their dating pool, right? Like, if you are somebody who is not physically attractive, or if you're somebody who doesn't care a lot about about your weight or your fitness or any of that kind of things, because those things don't really matter, then the likelihood is you're not going to be physically attractive to a large group of people. But there will be a group of people who do still find you attractive. So then your reality in the dating pool is that you do not have free range to choose anybody. You don't just get to choose anybody in the world and they have to like you, right? Like, you have to mitigate your expectations based on what is available to you. And that is just the reality of dating. And that is, I think, what Little Joel's point is at the end of the day, right? Like, and I think that's part of Little Joel's point, is that Physical attractiveness, physical attributes are not something that can just be ignored. It is an active part of the dating experience. And that is the part that incels, or people who are not considered physically attractive conventionally, have a problem with, right? We can't just ignore this thing that exists. And I don't think the original tweet saying it's not your looks is to say that it's not looks, right? It's not looks in general. It's never looks. No. Their inherent misogyny stops them from seeing a certain subsect of the female population as viable sexually, because they aren't good enough, right? They're not attractive enough. Their own hatred towards women stops them from being a part of their viable dating pool. So it is their internal worldview that is stopping them from having sex. It's not their physical attributes, right? But the point of the matter is the dating pool is not an equal opportunity experience. And I think that is the point of lament for these incels, right? No matter what you do, you will never be conventionally attractive and therefore have a larger dating pool to choose from. That's just reality. But to be involuntarily celibate does not mean having as many options as everybody else, right? We're talking about just having sex. If you just want to have sex, there's people you can go have sex with. It might not be the person that, it might be a model. It might not be the person that you find the most physically attractive, but you are not owed. You are not owed access to the person that you find physically attractive. That is misogyny, right? That is the misogynistic through line of the patriarchy that we live today, that tells men that if you find someone physically attractive, you should have access to that person. That's not reality. And that's what incels have such a problem with. So, I mean, I defend this tweet. I think it's a good tweet. I think Little Joel is taking the argument against the incel mindset in this tweet and applying it to all people who have trouble dating. And I don't think that's true. I don't think that's a fair and accurate way to read this tweet. That's not what they're saying. They're talking specifically about people who are incels. And the fact of the matter is, to be involuntarily celibate is an oxymoron. There are people who are banging all over this planet who are not sexy, who are not thin or skinny, right? Who are not conventionally attractive. It doesn't matter. You can find somebody to have sex with you. I guarantee you. It's not that hard. There's billions of people in the world. Hopefully that rant meant something. Hopefully this all makes sense, but I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.